maybe some people shouldn't be on TikTok. Maybe, but maybe they should be like on like Fortnite, right? For example, which I think is like another like metaverse like kind of property. If that matches up with who your consumer is, what you're trying to align like your brand with, and like what that value exchange is. I just think that Meta is this is not it. This is not on this deal, because I think Meta just doesn't understand what the appeal is, I think.
Welcome to Punchy by Rival, where we take the gloves off to share the hard-hitting realities of the challenger marketing world. Each week, we'll break down the buzz and cut through the BS, the top stories and trends to tell you what you really need to know and do differently to grow your brand and career. We are back. We are live. We had a couple weeks off from doing our content and events over the summer, giving everybody and the audience a little bit of a break, but we are back. This is our first Punchy of the post-summer break. So Robin, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited to hear what you have to say today. No pressure.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Jenna, how you doing?
I'm good. The neurotic German Shepherd in my apartment is wearing me out, but pretty good. He's cute. It makes up for it.
It's not a dig at Robin, right?
No. Robin. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you are German.
No,
that was unintended. There's an actual dog in my apartment.
The dog should distract you, so I win the 2 minutes at the end of the show.
Yeah, he's currently making very sad eyes at me. So actually, this may be a competitive handicap for me.
Yeah. Very good.
Robin, I saw your whole facial expression change in the little prep that we were doing once you realized that it was a competition. So I think this will go well. And we are missing, of course, Dubose, who is in Gatwick North Terminal trying to get on his flight to Greece. So I guess we feel bad for him because he's stuck in Gatwick, but not bad for him because he's going to Greece. But either way, he's not here today. So we have got a tete-a-tete, a head-to-head. Jenna and Robin, let's get into it. 3 stories for today, as always. Story number 1, Mark Zuckerberg. This is from PC Gamer, although there was a lot of news about this a few weeks ago. Mark Zuckerberg this is one of our favorite articles, definitely our favorite headline. Mark Zuckerberg spent $10 billion on the metaverse, and all he got was this stupid selfie. So obviously an opinion piece. Mark Zuckerberg posted a screenshot from Meta's Horizon Worlds on Facebook earlier this week, saying he is, quote, looking forward to seeing people explore and build immersive worlds in the VR metaverse. People hated it, and I can totally see why. So some of the comments from the article, it's not just bad, but exquisitely bad. It's compared to clip art. Anyone other than a billionaire CEO would get immediately fired. And probably my favorite line from the article, Meta spent $10 billion on developing whatever the hell it's doing with the metaverse last year. And all it's got to show for it is baby doll face Zuckerberg hovering in front of a miniature Eiffel Tower. So we will put a link to the article in the show notes. And as we are going through the responses, I will share my screen so people can see this oddly terrifying and really uninspiring image that Zuck and his PR team chose to share from Horizon Worlds. But Jenna, you shared this article. We're going to kick it off and go to you. You have 1 minute on the clock to tell us why you love this article so much.
Well, as we've discussed, as longtime listeners of the show will know, I love it when like very like businesses really struggle and just fucking fail at any like creative enterprises like this. This just again seems to be like the same kind of, oh shit, we just don't understand how to do anything creative. Like the same way that like Sony struggled with a couple properties, or like Amazon is still struggling with Amazon Prime Video and some of their stuff. So I like that. I do want to resist the like very surface level interpretation of this. It is a really, really funny screenshot, but actually I think substantively, even if you dig deeper into what the Horizon Worlds thing actually is, like if you go look at the demo footage and like the actual, like they've got like the Horizon like block party and the other stuff that they're doing on it, it all looks this bad. It's not just the screenshot. Because at first I was like, oh, well, $10 billion, they're doing other stuff. No, it's all this terrible. I go with the hot take of this already exists and it's called Fortnite, and Fortnite did it better.
All right. For making me laugh so much, from sharing this and from that response, I'm going to give you 8 points, Jenna. Dr. Robin, what say you? 1 minute on the clock.
I think 10 billion for selfie. I mean, we have the image in the insurance and finance industry that we are super expensive consulting company, marketing agency, but I guarantee you, every project we do for you is less than 10 billion for a selfie, and you get more than a selfie. All kidding aside, the only thing I ask myself with the metaverse, independently of the screenshot, is where the hell can I log on? I know, of course, there are these different platforms, but I'm asking myself is this actually really already for customers? Are people beyond nerds actually already using it? Is it something customers do? And my big doubt is the big $10 billion bet Mark Zuckerberg did. My doubt is that it's actually seeing customer attraction already. And and I think that's the big question we need to ask. Did uh, Mark miss the timing on this one?
Well, if he did, he's definitely trying to catch up. I mean, he's really pushed a lot of chips financially, politically, even from a brand perspective. Just thinking about anecdotally, I was catching up with someone yesterday, and a mutual friend of ours, actually, Jenna, someone we know, is going to work for Meta. And I was like, there's not that many people that are going to work for Meta right now. And of course, that has to do with a lot of different things. But I think some of it is people aren't that inspired with the future direction of the company. So, Robin, I'm going to give you 5 points. Let's discuss this a little bit. And Robin, I want to start with you as a follow-up question, because you do a lot of work with in the financial services space, insurance businesses, insurtech, fintech, et cetera. I'm sure this has come up a lot. What's my Web3 strategy? What's my NFT strategy? How are you advising clients? And for people listening, whether they're in insurance or not, how should they be thinking about marketing in the Web3 space right now from your perspective?
Before you burn budget for something that may be significant tomorrow, why not invest money in something that obviously works? So if insurance C-suits or banking C-suits come to me and say, Robin, what is our Web 3.0 strategy? Can you help us? I show me your Web 2.0 or sometimes even Web 1.0 things. If your website looks like from 1982 and you're still not on TikTok, for example, then let's not talk about NFT, blockchain, and these crazy things. It's difficult enough to be there where the attention of your end consumer is right now. And when you master that, spend a little bit, I would say less than 10 billion on where the attention of your customer can be in the future. But I would not, that's what I would answer them. And most of the times, their website has problems, their sales process has problems, and in most of the times, they really suck at social media. And I would fix that first before wasting some innovation or marketing budget on something that potentially could work. Start with the stuff that works, obviously, right now.
I like it. Don't jump on the bandwagon. 5 extra points, Robin. Jenna, over to you.
I don't know. Sometimes, jump on the bandwagon. But I feel like I think that Meta's problem with the metaverse, or again this Horizon events, really this metaverse that they're developing, is that they have consciously chosen to misidentify or not lean into what the actual appeal or the usage of this is for consumers. They're really consciously making this the Horizon events platform, which is where this awful screenshot came from. They're oh, this is for concerts and live events, and that they've really come at this from a perspective of this is just a branded experience, and that they're not coming at this from again what is the appeal of Oculus, which is Facebook's or Meta's existing actual Web 3.0 or VR AR kind of experience. Why do people like that, right? They've got I think maybe 1 or 2 successful properties, Beat Saber and a couple others, and they just don't really seem to be doubling down on what's working, or again what the appeal is for consumers there. And I think for some brands it makes a ton of sense to try some of this stuff early, like Coca-Cola, right? Where it's you're spending so much money that it makes sense for you to do this. But even for smaller folks, I just think it needs to come from a place of what are consumers actually getting a value out of this channel? And does that value proposition make sense with what we're doing? And should we actually be there, right? Maybe some people shouldn't be on TikTok. Maybe, but maybe they should be on Fortnite, right? For example, which I think is another metaverse kind of property. If that matches up with who your consumer is, what you're trying to align your brand with, and what that value exchange is. I just think that Meta is this is not it. This is not on this this deal, because I think Bennett just doesn't understand what the appeal is, I think.
Totally agree. And on my way up to Manchester today on the train, I wrote next week's edition of Zag. And one of the articles that we covered in that is Starbucks and their Web3 play called Odyssey, which actually I think it's, I mean, like, I'm a very devout Starbucks customer. So I'm definitely going to be checking it out. But I feel like what I was saying in the article, or in my kind of take on the article, is I think there was the wave one of NFT plays by brands that was entirely bandwagon for the most part. And now I think there's starting to be a wave two. I'm not talking about the, Facebook and the metaverse right now, but just in terms of what brands are doing, where they're actually working backwards from, hey, what do we have? And for Starbucks, it's a massive loyalty program. And how can the Web3 actually unlock more value for our customers through that? So, Jen, I'm going to give you 4 extra points on that. So after round 1, we've got carry the 2, Jenna with 12 points.
Well done.
Dr. Robin with 10 points. So it's neck and neck, everybody. Neck and neck. Story number 2, coming from Business Insider. Ads are coming to Netflix. So of course this came out a while ago, but I particularly wanted to put this in here because, Jenna, I know that you have some thoughts from your media planning and buying perspective on this. So Netflix, if you haven't seen the news, is rolling out an ad-supported tier in November. And they're starting to court advertisers. So a lot of advertisers are saying that Netflix is asking for high prices and without a lot of measurement. They are looking at, it looks like 60 to 65 USD CPM. So that's cost per 1,000 people reached. And a lot of people are saying that that's expensive. So this would make Netflix one of the priciest streaming TV options for marketers, slightly above HBO Max that rolled it out last year. Jenna, I know you have a different opinion about this. Let's start with you. 1 minute on the clock.
I think the CPM is actually reasonable. Like, I think that like people compared it to like the Super Bowl CPMs last year, which I think were in like the $50 to $55 range. And they were like, how could Netflix possibly charge this? So I'm like, honestly, for deterministic data in a logged in state of like people who we know are like premium paying users for something, like in a high impact format where people are definitely looking at the screen, I don't necessarily think that $65 is outrageous. What I do think is outrageous is that they are not accepting any third-party measurement or verification. And like, I've been like chirping about this like on social, and a lot of like my other friends, like, who are in the media buying and planning space are like, why does this matter? Too many people are scrutinizing every touch point. Like, really, what third-party measurement are you actually excited about? Like, And I think that's fair. I think that's fair too, because like I obviously have another rant separately that's also about how flawed measurement is. But the idea that Netflix expects that I would pay a very premium price, probably predicated on like the value of their data, and then not verify it for me, that's kind of bullshit. I think that's bullshit. That's my opinion.
All right. Well timed. Well said. 6 points.
Thank you.
Robin.
Well, I would like to look at it from the consumer's perspective. I know that's a buzzword. It probably gets me 2 minus points, but I'm going to just say this buzzword anyway. So let's look at the consumer's perspective. Why should I pay $15 to watch commercial as I just tried to get away from? So I think the big scandal or the big danger actually is that people are going to go away, because where's then the difference to boring TV, old TV and new TV? And that is actually the big advantage of Netflix and other streaming platforms, that you actually can go away from advertisement. So, and I'm curious if there will be like you have the new business model for Netflix where they say pay $10 more, you don't see any advertisement. What I would do, because I hate advertisement. It's really ironic because we're a marketing agency, but we don't do advertisement. So maybe that's something. And so I would say they're ruining their business model, and that's super dangerous for Netflix.
All right, Robin, I'm giving you 5 points for that. Let us open up the floor. Anything that anyone wants to rebut, build on, add to this story in the next couple minutes?
Robin, don't you think that like, I feel like Hulu, HBO Max, like Disney Plus, haven't all the other streaming services like normalized that there's like an ad supported tier? Like, I think that you're like right about like, 5 years ago, if Netflix had done this, I feel like it would have been a disaster. But now there's so many, like I like the Hulu ad free. Don't they have like 2 ad supported tiers or something? There's like the totally ad supported one that's like $4. Then you get some ads, and then there's like the no ads one, and that one's like $20 or something. I feel like it's really expensive. I don't know. I feel that there's now like a consumer expectation that that's the experience.
Yeah, but what I look for the company as a strategic point is that you make market entry then easier, especially for those channels that still have some cash in their bank. It's now to rebuild Netflix super difficult when it's high quality, super customer orientated creatives. And then you do and that's super hard to copy, but it's not too super hard to copy, to provide some sort of content as a TV station and then make money over advertisement. So I think that's there. It's very. I mean, I understand that they need to make money at some point. Who doesn't like to do that? But I think it's dangerous that they lower the barrier of entry and that they become a commodity, and that cannot be a wise strategic move. So I'm super curious how that's going to play out.
I really enjoyed how I follow a lot of shit posting advertising meme accounts on Instagram. Like I've like literally
All
dozens
you
of them.
follow.
I pretty much. No, there's a lot of other ones. I follow a lot of other meme accounts too. I'm a millennial. It's fine. I don't really care. That's where I get the majority of my news. But like a couple of them were like conspiracy theory, like Charlie ones, where it's like me explaining that like Netflix is forcing people to stop sharing passwords so that like their data is like better quality, so that like who is like the actual account holder and like the watcher for it. Or there was one that was like the conspiracy Charlie, where he's like Netflix convincing people that you don't need measurement and third-party verification, so we can just focus on creativity and then do drugs and advertising like it's the 80s again. There's been good like commentary around this in the meme sphere if anybody wants some meme recommendations.
Yeah, you need to share some channels later on.
Yeah. Digital chat advertising.
We got to do a post. We got to do a post of Jenna's favorite advertising meme channels.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Let's
digital chat advertising, RTB memes. That's a good one. That's Jules. I know him. He's great.
Oh, do you know what we do need to come back to is Stefan. Advertising Stefan.
Oh,
you said you would make that a segment on this show, and
we'll do it now that we have producers. I'll do it. Yeah.
All right, Robin, I really liked your response there. I'm going to give you 4 more points to put you at 23, and Jen, I'm going to give you 3 points just to make it tied. 23 points each going into the last round. This is for all the marbles, as they say. Story number 3, introducing the first end-to-end shopping experience on WhatsApp with JioMart in India. If you couldn't tell from how the headline is written, this is basically a press release from Facebook. But I think it actually is interesting. So JioMart is an online grocery store in India, and it's partnered with WhatsApp to enable customers to browse through the entire grocery catalog, add items to their cart, and complete the purchase, all without leaving the WhatsApp chat. So it's the first, according to Facebook, end-to-end shopping experience on WhatsApp. And what I think is interesting about this one is, yes, it's a one-off activation, but of course, Facebook bought WhatsApp for, what was it, 19 billion a few years ago. And the question has always been, how's it going to monetize? And so I think this is an interesting direction, and potential kind of indicator of the direction they're going to go with commerce actually through the WhatsApp channel. Robin, I'm going to throw it to you first. You've got 1 minute to share your thoughts on this.
Mark, if you see this, I need to congratulate you, because that's the one thing it's obviously not messed up at Facebook. That's WhatsApp. So I think Instagram was a steal. WhatsApp is a steal because, you have access to worldwide communication there. To integrate shopping is something super because it's really customer orientated. Customers, they want to have frictionless experience. I know another buzzword, a point gets taken away from me. But it is like it is, and I think that has a huge potential. We see this WeChat, and China has a multi-billion-dollar market there. I'm super curious if that can be combined with also super quick delivery service, as we see food delivery service or supermarket delivery service in Central Europe with gorillas spreading. So I think that can be a really smart move, not only for the stockholders of Meta, but actually for the customers. And maybe that can be a winning story for Mark Zuckerberg. So I'm happy that it's happening. I don't want to talk about data and privacy and all of that, but I think that's super smart move. And why not earlier? That's my only question to Mark, if you see this.
Well done. Perfect timing. I'm sure he's listening. So message received. 7 points. Robin. And I love, like, you used the minute perfectly. This is our first week with the timer, so you're really setting the bar high. So you are at 30 points. Jenna, over to you. No pressure.
Fuck, that's tough. I think this is interesting. Actually, mostly because it makes sense. Like, they've been in like the social commerce thing for a while. Like, Instagram has kind of built out like shoppable features. I'm really curious to see how user behavior evolves on these things. Like, I know, like I say, for a long time, it really felt like digital touch points and apps were really getting consolidated. Like, I remember that was like a big trend, it was like, for a while there was like thousands and thousands of apps for everything. And then things started getting consolidated a little bit more. And now I don't really know. And I don't necessarily have enough like information or data to make a conclusion on this, but now it feels like with so many different like touch points, or, like, I think that is a good word, Robin, like the frictionless touch points and so many of those experiences, there's so many options for consumers now. And I wonder at what point that, like, from the brand perspective, like the Geomart or wherever, like, where is the juice not worth the squeeze in maintaining a WhatsApp platform, an Instagram platform, like all these like different types of like shoppable experiences? I'm not really sure. That's not really a very hot take. I didn't really have anything super exciting to say about that. I just think it's interesting to see how consumer behavior is going to change in that regard.
All right. I don't dislike it. I feel like frictionless touch points could be either the name of a band that we start or potentially Dubos's autobiography. I'm not sure, but there's something to that.
Dubos's autobiography. Yes. Frictionless touch points. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. 6 points, Jenna. So you come in at 29. Dr. Robin, you are our winner for today. The question is, did I let you win because you're the guest? You'll never know. You'll never know. Just kidding. You won genuinely, or did you? We'll never find out. But either way, over to you. You have got the floor for the next 3 minutes to share your rant or rave, something you're passionate about, either in a positive way or a negative way. What's on your mind?
I would like to share one thought. And I think the big question is sales dead or not? And we're talking about retail banks, where people are still, selling financial products. He's talking about insurance sales agents, brokers, about car dealers. Is the physical sales, is it dead? I mean, it's one of the most disliked jobs on the planet. I think not always justified, but is this dead or not? And I strongly believe when you have a good salesperson, he or she can sell in 200 years ago, in 500 years, on the Mars, doesn't matter. Good salespeople do what they do best. And the irony is that good salespeople actually do things that are actually super digital. Nowadays, they are authentic, they are personal, there's a personal relationship. And I think the biggest trend, what we see in companies in Central Europe is, do you want to, as a sales organization, become part of the daily life of your clients or not? And if you're not, it's fine. Don't complain in 2 or 3 or 5 years. But if you do, you need to ask yourself, where is the attention of your target group? Where is the attention of your customer? And as crazy deliver value. I know it's also buzzword, but it means when you look at your marketing budget, and you look at how your customers and end consumers actually allocate their time, on which social channels, in which formats, in which content they consume. And your marketing budget does not comply to it, but it looks like the marketing budget from like 15 years ago. You're misallocating it. And that's the biggest question for marketeers is, do we allocate our budget as our clients do their attention throughout the day? And again, I started to talk about sales and physical sales. I think also small salespeople, in a bank, as an insurer, car dealer, they all can and should become micro-influencers in their community, in their customer base, sharing what are they doing, what are the new trends, what are they evaluating. And we see influencers all around the world, in car, in finance, in beauty, everywhere around the world we see them, and that in the micro level, actually everybody can do and should do. Or as I always say, as a salesperson, you should do it when you want to make money.
So it's more sales is evolving, and what it takes to be successful in sales is evolving. Is that fair to say, versus sales being dead? Because at the end of the day, there's so many businesses that are going to need some type of human being to enable the actual transaction with the customer. And so that would be sales, but it looks very different and the opportunities are very different, and it needs to be kind of done in a different way. Is that fair, or are you saying something different?
Yeah. Do you want a person that tries to push something on you, or do you want that customers stand in line because they like you, they know you, and they finally want the product? That's the big
so
difference.
value-based relationship based,
Yeah.
social selling, that type of thing. Yeah, totally agree with that. Great. Robin, thank you so much for joining. For people that want to find out more about you, what you're up to with the agency, I know there's a lot of places they can find you these days, but what are the few that you want to direct people to?
On our website, digitalscouting.de, on LinkedIn, Robin Kira, and please do not follow me on TikTok because that's not a good idea.
Well, that means everybody's going to follow you on TikTok, of course. All right, Jenna, any last words, or we'll let you get back to your German Shepherd?
No one should follow anyone on TikTok. The end.
Great place to leave it. We'll have to come back for a round 2 on that. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Take care. Punchy is a production of Rival. We are a growth consultancy that builds challenger brands, strategies, and capabilities to disrupt categories. If you want to learn more about us, check out wearerival.com. If you want to connect with Jenna, Dubose, or myself, email us at media@wearerival.com or find us on LinkedIn. If you enjoyed today's show, please subscribe, share with anyone you think might enjoy it, and leave us a review. Thanks so much for listening, and see you next week.